big week, and now here we are getting into the fall season. Can you believe it's September already, Ron?
I don't. I'm one of those that I do live in the moment, so you want to preserve the summer, so you just take advantage of that heat and all that kind of stuff, because when winter comes, you're going to go, oh, I wish we had that heat back.
We were talking earlier that we sort of are the odd couple. I love winter, and I hate being hot. I like the sun, but once I start sweating and it gets above about 85, 90, I am a cranky, miserable person.
I love the heat. I also love the cold.
Yeah.
I love skiing. I love shoveling. I love all that stuff, but I also like the dead extreme heat when you're just like, oh. One of my favorite moments was down in Vegas I had never gone there, or our family never gone there, and I don't know if I said that right, but we went there, and I wanted just to stand outside and bake. It was so hot, and I just thought that was just the neatest feeling. You can't stand out for too long.
I'm going to turn in my guy card really quick. Have you ever seen the movie Miss Congeniality?
Oh,
with Sandra Bullock?
Yes, in our house, it's played quite frequently. I can't say that I'm usually in the room when it's playing.
I love the line when William Shatner is interviewing one of the contestants on the pageant, and he goes, "Can you describe your perfect date?" And she thinks about it for a second, and then she goes, "April 25th. It's not too hot, and it's not too cold." And I'm like, I'm a fall type. You describe your perfect date as in like a dating date, guy, girl, girl, whatever.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it until you just said
that.
I
know. And so I saw the blank stare go over your eyes, and I was like, okay, come with me, Ron. I will explain my odd sense of humor.
Thank you.
And the not talking about
5% of the audience that was with me.
Probably, I would assume. But no, it was talking about a date as if though you're dating somebody, not a date as in a day. April 25th, because it's not too hot and it's not too cold. Okay, guy card back in my wallet. Let's continue with the show. What are we talking about this week? The breed?
The breed is Beagle. So is the Beagle the right breed for you? We're going to go through the AKC description of the Beagle and talk about it and say, okay, is this the right breed for your family? It is a wonderful breed. It is one of those great family dogs, but we're going to talk about the goods and the bads, and they're not ugly, so all the good stuff. So we're going to hit the Beagle, and then we're going to go into a recent trip that I made, which is actually quite frequent, a breeder trip. But on this breeder trip, it's one of those things where I go, how many breeders are going to show up? And it's, about 10. Last time it was, the time before was 150 breeders showed up when I was there, and give her a little presentation and all that kind of stuff. This one was a little bit more under control. 60 breeders showed up, but there was a special guest there, and that was animal activists. And I use that word somewhat loosely because I'm an animal activist as well. I want the great things for our pets and stuff, but we brought some out and some a legislator out so that they get more and more experience about what we're bringing to Iowa, what Iowa is doing, how we're improving in humongous ways. And so we'll talk about that trip, a little bit about the history of pet ownership as well. I think that sets the stage. And then where are we going with all this?
I want to clarify, just so we don't get any confusion. You said it again, and you didn't correct yourself. You said, we're going to hit the Beagle. You don't actually.
Did I say that again?
Yeah, you said it off air, and I was like, we don't hit dogs. But I know what you meant.
We're going to hit the topic.
We're going to hit the topic.
Yeah.
I know that there's somebody red-faced out there going, he hits dogs. I don't like him. Why did you do that?
No, I'm an animal lover.
You are an activist and care very deeply about our community. Obviously, also one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I'll kind of lead into this, is some of the work that you're doing with Petland. But here at iHeartMedia, you can text Harvey to 90999, and a donation is automatically going to go to the redcross.org. And I know that Petland all across the nation has been doing some great work to support what's happening down in Texas.
Yes, we'll hit that topic as well. So what's first on our list?
The amazing. Oh yeah, I'll let him do it.
It's time for the amazing pet story of the week.
Okay, go back in your box. Actually, this one is out of Texas, and I thought it was fitting. A bewildered Houston bat colony flew the coop on Sunday from the flooded Waugh Bridge in Buffalo Bayou to the walls of the American Tower. And there were maintenance of people that assisted with opening up some of the doors and letting these bats that they knew were in this colony. But as the floodwaters were rising, some of the areas that they were able to fly out of were trapped, and so these bats were basically trapped in the tower. So before daylight Sunday, he knew thousands of bats were going to be flying out of this, and he said that he regularly goes up to the tower, and so that he knew all the towers were there, and he wanted to get the bats out of this bridge embankment that was going to be underwater.
So before the water
got there, or right when he knew that the exit for these bats. And I was like, that is an amazing story, that bats are one of those things that, not a lot of people have had experience with. I've caught them before with towels, and you just
like when they get in the house,
and they're upside down just on the wall, and you walk up and you're like, hey buddy, I'm gonna let you outside. and it's freaky when you start hearing them scream and that high-pitched just nervousness, and then you just open up the door and take them right outside. But it just goes to show the great things that are happening down there. And even with bats, a maintenance worker doing his part.
Took action. And we learned all of that kind of stuff during our own floods. And they're in we know what they're feeling right now down there. It's the what's going to happen kind of a thing. And I remember back then, locally here, Wendy and I had just bought the store, I think it was 3 years prior to that. And I remember going, well, what's going to happen and how can we prepare for it? And our inventory manager said, who used to be an animal control officer, so she kind of knew that aspect of the public and everything. And we also used Katrina had occurred years before that, so we relied on that
2005
for information, and we ended up getting truckloads of supplies from the suppliers that we work with. This is okay. So why do you support local businesses? Because we see what's happening, and then we call up, in this case, our suppliers, and they sent in for free so much in supplies. The animal shelter, our local Iowa City animal shelter, was saying we need kennels, just those wire kennels, basic things. And so we called the suppliers up and said, we need donations now. We need kennels. Boom, a truck came full of them.
A flooded house is a flooded house.
Yeah.
Scale doesn't have anything to do with it. Obviously, that was bigger than anything that happened anywhere in the Midwest. But when your house is flooded, when your pets are scared, when you're scared and you see the waters coming up, scale doesn't matter. And so we can very much relate to the devastation. And still 9 years later, with the Gateway Project and some of the projects around town, you still feel the impact.
One of the neatest things that here we were calling the animal shelters that were impacted. So Cedar Rapids, had their own river up there and all that kind of stuff, called them and said, how can we help you? You guys have those Petland boxes. So when the rabbits and the guinea pigs go home, there's a little box that we get, a portable box, and you put it together and all that. We would like those boxes. And I'm like, wow, that was an unusual request.
Right.
And I go, why? Because we know when the waters recede, the owners are going to come back for the cats specifically. And we need boxes to put them in so that they can bring them under control away from here and then back into their homes. I called the manufacturer of that and I said, oh, by the way, I asked, how many do you need? And she goes, well, it's an unknown, but somewhere around 800. And I was like, 800? Called the manufacturer. I said, I need 800. I need them donated. I need them shipped. I need them done now. 800 it was right as the waters were coming up.
Gosh.
And I got them, loaded them into the truck, brought them up to the shelter in Cedar Rapids. They were emotionally drained because they were up a long hours at that point, accepting pets in 24 hours and all that. I walked in, they broke into tears.
Yeah.
And they were so thankful for boxes.
National company, local owners is what I say all the time. And so we're going to talk more about that. Highlight on the breed of the week before we take our first break.
The Beagle is the breed of the week. We always like to ask the question, is this the right breed for your family? We're all about education, so we're going to discuss the Beagle this week.
There it is. It's the Positively Petland Show every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC. Once again, iHeartMedia supporting all of Southern Texas. You can text Harvey to 90999 and make a quick donation to the Red Cross. We'll continue next on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC. How'd you like that one?
That was good. They came in right on time.
Sort of.
Right after that commercial, we're seamless here.
Seamless, except for that little break.
Yeah.
It's the Positively Petland Show, 9 o'clock Sunday mornings right here on 800 KXIC. It's a weekly talk with Ron Solsrud, co-owner of Petland of Iowa City. And we're talking about the Beagle. I love Beagles, but
Yes.
I don't know if it would be the right breed for me. So
Wow.
how do you start that conversation with a customer? What do you do? Obviously, let them play with it, but then what kind of questions do you ask on whether or not it is the right breed for somebody?
Well, let's role play that right now.
Hi, Ron. I don't know what type of dog I would like.
No,
but
I
think
you were already on it. You don't need to go into the. You said something right now or right before, that sparked a question.
So that was Act 1. Now we're on Act 2.
Yes, okay. I think, I don't know. You had said that it might not be. So tell me about your concerns.
See, I'm actually not shopping for a dog. I would say I want an active dog, but not overly active. I like one that's kind of peppy and cheery, but not one that I have to walk every single hour.
So your perception of a Beagle is that it takes a lot of work.
I would say so because of the Beagles that I have had experience with.
Exactly. That's a good point you just brought out, because what we like to do...
That's 2 good points in like 30 seconds that I've made. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Is we like to use the books, because your perception is based on how many Beagles, maybe 2 or 3, yeah, kind of thing. Let's look at the books, and which are based on the breed standards, many different Beagles at that point. And what do the books say as compared to other dogs? So I would agree with you and say, is it a lot of work? Well, it's a dog. Yes. By definition, right there, you've added work to your schedule. But then you know that, hey, but I'm looking for a companion right now. So you're looking for the companion, and do I want to take on that extra work? Your perception of the Beagle is that it's above average as far as work. We're going to let AKC help us through that as far as understanding it. And if I fast forwarded it right now, per AKC, this dog compared to others needs moderate daily exercise, not a lot. So I would keep it in your circle of, I'm considering this breed at this point. Any other concerns you might have?
Does it poop and pee a lot?
Yes, like every dog, it does. Now,
I just wanted to get that in. Mark the time.
Okay, mark time. Yes.
There it is. I think we're about 16 minutes in.
And here again, this is a moderate pooper and peer, in that small dog, small poop, big dog, big poop kind of a thing, and that is for real. And you either accept it as a large breed owner and just say, well, what's the big deal, kind of a thing, or you go, you know what, that probably is going to be an issue for me. So, okay, let's downsize a little bit. The Beagle's going to be a medium-sized dog. So really, it's medium poop.
Really quick, off topic, I have a friend who has a smaller dog who the dog always stays in the backyard. And get a load of this. Right next to the garage on the front of their house, there was a giant dog poop. And he was like, my driveway is 30 or 35 feet long. Who let their dog walk all the way up towards the house? That is just about as inconsiderate. And you can tell, you're, for lack of better, I know this is going to sound weird. Your dog's poop. If it's yours or not. And I was like, who lets their dog just run on one of those long leashes, or not off the leash, I guess?
But it might have been, a lost dog as well.
All right, I guess you're right.
We actually have something right now in our garden landscaping area, and my daughter goes, whoa, look at the size of that poop. It is not from our dogs. We got tiny little dogs, and they don't go in the front yard anyways. And same thing, it was probably a stray, that just came running through.
You're probably right.
That or a bear, one of those two things.
All right, so we got the poop and the pee conversation out of the way. Moving along, meet the Beagle.
The Beagle. So, actually,
Did you just give it away?
No.
With that accent?
No, I didn't. Actually, as I said it, I went, wait, where does the Beagle? So we're both going to be stumped right now. Where does the Beagle? I'm trying to cheat right now.
No, I know. Just start reading.
No, take a guess.
Australia.
I would say the Beagle is an American dog. I mean, if I was to just come off the top of my head, and I think most people would say that, like the Labrador. It's American dog. But we know. Do you remember the Labrador, where it comes from? No. This is the one you took a random guess.
Finland.
Netherlands.
Netherlands.
So okay, let's go into the Beagle. So you said where?
Australia, maybe Britain.
I say it's just like an American dog. It's English. What it is. The Beagle is one of the oldest dog breeds. Ooh, I'm out.
Yep,
right now.
I'm still in.
References to small Beagle type dogs which hunted hare, not like hare, but rabbits, and were followed on foot, date back to 400 BC in Greece.
All right.
So we were both wrong. By the middle of the 18th century,
I was closer.
Really? Oh, wait.
You said,
Yeah. Okay.
You said
on the other side.
America.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you said America, and I said Britain.
No, you said Australia.
I said
you said Australia.
I was saying British type, so I changed it from.
But I think globally you're still closer if you went with Australia,
Okay.
like what you really said.
All right.
Where is it? Hunting with packs of beagles was a popular sport with European farmers and small landlords, and the breed flourished. So it's a hunting dog for sure. Scent hounds undoubtedly accompanied the early English settlers to America, but not much is known of these early beagles. In the late 1800s, U.S. breeders imported hounds from British packs to improve the appearance of their beagles. Oh, that was interesting. I wonder what they were mixing them with, because they obviously got off on a tangent there as far as the breed standards go. These English imports brought the breed to its current look as miniature foxhound.
What did you just say? English imports. So I think that it has some English roots, right?
Maybe you said Australia.
Oh, gosh.
That's just fact. Here.
Whatever. Move on. I'm done with
Move
you.
on. I'm done with you. With the establishment of the National Beagle Club of America in 1887, a standard was adopted and has changed little in the ensuing years. The Beagle was always bred in a range of sizes in the United States due to differences in terrain, ground cover, quarry, Quarry,
Quarry.
and the personal preference of the huntsman. When competing in fields, smaller hounds were at a disadvantage, and two size varieties emerged to allow for a more level playing field. The two varieties, 13-inch and 15-inch. Is there much difference in there? But
yeah, 3 inches. You're
3
an engineer.
inches.
That scares me if you can't tell the difference between 15 and 12 inches.
Are measured at the shoulders or withers. Both varieties can be seen in the small litter, and often the variety classification isn't known until the Beagle is full grown. That is an interesting thing, because that's people often ask, is this a 13 or a 15? And that isn't really known until it is an adult, for sure, because they all originate back. I think you have a tendency to go one way or another based on the parent's size, but it hasn't been bred on those two levels long enough to differentiate that in a permanent way, kind of a thing. So that's an interesting little thing there. All right, so it goes on about that. The breed has held a place near the top of the AKC registration for many years, much due to the fact that they make wonderful pets. Today, in addition to rabbit hunting or competing in field trials, beagles are used for contraband food searches in airports and for termite inspections.
Wow.
All right, so that's a little bit about the history, form and function. To perform his work as a hunter, a beagle must be sturdy, balanced, and moderate in all aspects. One standard fits both sizes. Not sure what they mean by that.
15 and 12.
You think so? Because of their exceptional scenting ability and drive, a beagle will follow his nose wherever it leads. Beagles are great with kids, but it takes time, patience, and dedication to raise the puppy.
Frequency and consistency
is always the key to success in training.
and in life.
Which is nothing but training. It's training all over again. You can also look up the Beagle on petlandiowacity.com. We have breed standards, we have breed descriptions and all that kind of stuff. And what I like about it is some of it's just like bullet pointed. The environment that they excel in as far as a pet goes, apartments are okay for this breed. I've noticed that the AKC has said that more and more now, even with large breeds, because it really is more how often are you getting the dog outside rather than how big is your yard. Because if you don't get them outside in your yard, then what does it matter how big your yard is and that you got a fence? But let's say you are the runner who doesn't have a fenced-in yard and you go running every day.
Why can't you train dogs to go into a litter box the way that you can like a cat?
You actually can. And people do that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That is the type of dog that I would like, because there's often times where I just can't go home to let it out, which is why I don't have a dog.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your own personal habits on the potty side of things. And I'm like, going home to let it out? What are you talking about? Obviously, I was in a...
Woo. Thank you for dwelling on something that was my point.
People do that, but I hear, I'm the other side of that coin. Why would you do that? Your house is going to stink because dog's poop is bigger than cat's poop. And if you have a cat, all of us cat owners know that there is a litter that we have in our store that smacks every litter out there better than anything you've tried. All the clays, all the different organic-y kind of things that they have out there. This is silica based, and we have it in our store. If you are at all concerned about smell as on a cat or on a dog, this stuff is great. Come in and we'll talk about that.
Smacks it out.
Smacks it out of the park.
I like it.
I'm in the hitting and smacking and all that kind of stuff time.
I'll be over here.
You're going to keep your distance. So people do that, but I personally would say I don't want not even a small dog pooping in my house just because it stinks. Then, I get the odor. I'm going to clean it up right away.
Well, and I was thinking on the fly also, that's really not fair to the dog also to not have any exercise and companionship. So
getting outside is, sometimes I was thinking, it's just the pooping that you get the exercise.
I was thinking one-track mind dealing with the poop and the pee, and I wasn't thinking about the companion aspect. Because
holistic.
Cats like companionship, but they don't necessarily always need it. I'm generalizing, saying that would be my perception, is they can stay at home.
I see where you're coming from.
I don't know if that's a valid perception.
That's my way of agreeing with you, but not.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
You know what? I'm just going to stop talking because I'm being very cerebral and very thinking today.
So getting back to your original objections on a Beagle. So moderate daily exercise. It's not a high maintenance dog as far as that goes. Puppies are always different, and that is with every breed. They're going to be more active as puppies, but as they grow older, then they mellow out, and the Beagle definitely mellows out quite a bit. And so that's where, in general, it's moderate daily exercise. Love a large yard. So they're saying apartment is okay, but it's going to like that yard too. So that's an aspect you want to take into account. So if you're going to run with this dog every day, you're right in line. You're going to wear this little guy out, and he's going to love you for it. And then grooming, very easy care. Is the way AKC puts it. Occasional brushing, keep ears clean. When the ears flap down like a Beagle's ears do, it gathers stuff into those canals, and so you do have to do a little bit more maintenance on the ears. And by the way,
when those ear washes that we've used for Greta are really easy to do. You just squirt it in, massage it, and it breaks it all up.
Yeah,
it's not as hard as you think.
Isn't that massaging part? Unless you've done it. But you can, their ear canal is like outside.
It is
the skull.
It is.
So you feel the whole thing. I'm sure the critical part is still in there.
But that's why you massage it in, and so it goes in.
Yeah. And then what do they do?
Just shake it.
Yeah. So do it outside, if you can, because then they shake their head really fast.
But it does work well.
Oh, they do. And they got tea tree oil. We have a Nature Vet tea tree oil based cleaning ear solution. So it also hits, like if you think they might have ear mites, throw this in there. They'll cleans it. It moisturizes it as well, and then it mildly hits that ear mite kind of a thing too.
I'm not talking for 5 minutes because you gave me a look last time like, will you please stop interrupting me?
Did I just do that?
No, yeah. When I said I like the the ear cleaning part of it, you were you were like, just let me.
Oh no,
talk.
I think I was stretching. I'm a very animated individual.
All right,
I think
continue on
that way. And then they have average shedding, and so compared to a Labrador, this would be less than a Labrador Retriever or a Golden Retriever for sure. Why? Because it's smaller. So does it shed? Yes, it does shed. Do you want a Furminator on this one? Yes, you want a Furminator to get that out before it's like in your house. If you're like, I don't want a shedding dog, the Beagle probably would not be the right breed for you. But it is a fun-loving. It is rated extremely family friendly. This is one of those really precious fun dogs that's going to be great in your family as far as all that goes. But training always leads the way.
Frequency and consistency
is key to that. So that is the Beagle. Is that the right breed for your family?
Probably not right now. I don't know.
So like what we were role playing at the beginning. So at this point, I would say, tell me more about the I don't know. What's holding you back?
The time aspect. I let's put it this way: is it the right breed for me? I don't think any right breed or any breed is right for me.
Well,
I'm not in the market for a dog.
Jerry, let's bring it back to that then. So why aren't you in the market for a puppy? You are in my store looking at puppies. You're sitting there, you're playing, but yet you say you're not in the market for a puppy. Your actions speak louder than your words.
I love dogs, so I love playing with dogs, which gets them used to people. So when I come into your store and I play with the dogs,
I love that.
Then I am.
But Jerry, this is all about you right now.
You
said you are not ready. You're too busy. Tell me more about that.
Too busy, so I leave.
Tell me more about that.
I work a lot, and so
how many hours?
I'm involved with a lot of things. I'm not saying how many hours I work. I'm just saying that there's.
But that's what we would do in the store to understand. Because like people will go, well, I work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 15 hours a day, and we then say, okay. You're getting up in that 15 hours. Okay, I see where you're coming from there. I don't know if this is long-term for you, Jerry, or if this is a short-term. I do know that you're looking at a puppy right now. Do you know how many hours of sleep that puppy gets?
Well,
or needs?
I don't have any idea.
Over 18.
Wow.
And so they need a lot of rest. And just like a grumpy crying, little baby, if they don't get enough sleep, that happens. And so you kind of have to say, you're going to bed. Yeah. And even when they're still alert and everything, and they just like
they are cute though. They are a beautiful, cute, fun loving. I wish you would have brought one in. Do you have any in the store?
Yes, I have two. I have a lemon and a tricolor beagle.
What was the first color?
A lemon.
So
it's that one would be a white base and then reddish tan spots or lighter than that. It's more on the that's where the lemon comes from. It's the color of that spot. It's lighter than what I just described.
So that's the beagle. What else are we talking about?
Did we go through all the fundraising and stuff for the Texas? I can't remember.
I think we talked about that during the first segment. I'm just throwing it out there once again that iHeartMedia has set up a texting account, makes it really easy for people to donate directly to the Red Cross. Just text Harvey to 90999. And really, it's great that people want to help, but monetary donations are key. Are what officials are saying. We don't need any people down here. That was a quote from one of the sheriffs in one of the counties going, we don't need any more people.
No, and that's kind of like when we had our floods. When the flood is going, now we got to bear down.
Yep. And so what they're preparing for is the infrastructure of people that are down there, and the Red Cross is on the lead. They are literally standing on the front lines going, as soon as this water starts to recede a foot, we're gaining ground. As soon as it recedes off this street, we're going in and we're cleaning up. We've got boots on the ground. The federal, I'm not going to talk on the federal issue, but it seems like that support and our lawmakers or the lawmakers down there are happy with the process. But companies, everybody should get together and support the Red Cross. So you can donate to Harvey by texting 90999 right now from your cell phone, and any data charges would apply, but it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, and in Petland, we're doing fundraisers across the America, and there's no administrative fees, so 100% of your funds that you donate through our store, what I'll be doing is just selling cookies at our register. So whatever you pay for that cookie, we do have small and large, and we have prices for them and all that kind of stuff.
Is this the right cookie for me?
No, it's not, because they're canine cookies.
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't want to. They're kind of dry. The frosting is always good. They're from Woofable, so they're locally made as well. But 100% of that donation, what you pay for that cookie, 100% of that is going to support all the flooding aspects of that, and it's going without any administrative fees kind of thing. So that's what Petland has done. That's actually what Petland did for us as well during our flood. Right. Petland did fundraisers, and the money came in, and we just got it to the people that do the work. And so we'll be doing the same thing now for them.
National company, local owners. And you're a local owner, you give back a ton. You've worked with the animal shelter, you've worked with our canine units, you've supported veterans issues. You really are. You're a local owner that cares very deeply about Iowa City, and you're trying to make our community better by the work that you do. So the efforts that you're doing also, it's all just coming together and loving each other, and love lives here, and let's just get along and just help each other out.
Jerry, you don't have to hug me so hard. I just need to breathe right now.
Really quick, you brought up dog treats. There was an Australian woman in the story in the news a week ago who saw Scooby snacks. And it's very colorful, and it's very marketed to, dogs. But she thought Scooby snacks were for her kids because it was such a colorful, and she put it into her kids' lunch boxes, and the teachers found them. And just stop. Go ahead. What do you got to do? KXIC. Our transmitter is working, but unfortunately, we just lost all of our control systems, all of our satellites, all of our commercials. We can't even play bumper music. So we're just going to hold tight here for a little bit. 800 KXIC out of Iowa City, experiencing obviously a major breakdown right now. But we will hopefully get you back soon. But right now we are absolutely dead in the water, and we'll try to get something on other than this tone. But I just wanted to pop on. This is Jerry Lawler, 9:59 right now, 65 degrees. Bear with us. We are working on it, and we will hopefully bring back the Dan Patrick Show here as quick as possible. We are aware of the situation, and we'll be back with you as quick as possible. Thank you.